In today's video, we're going to talk about the Nasdaq again, but it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to start with a blank chart. I'm going to show you some of the things we have been looking at and then show you the next decision. So here you can see that we have a daily chart of Nasdaq cash. That's where I do the timing work. We did have some timing last week for a possible high, and now we are seeing at least a little bit of a reversal. But we're still looking at a general bullish pattern of higher highs and higher lows. We're still looking at the fact that price is above the 200 simple moving average. It's above the 50 simple moving average, and right now the 513 is still in a buy mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare all these prior swings and look for possible support and a possible new buy trigger. Does that mean we're going to get it? No. And if we don't get it, then that tells you something else about the market. But let's look at the next timing first. So the next timing that I have for a possible reversal is going to be the 19th through the 22nd. So I have here one date, 22nd, 21st, 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 19th, 22nd. Okay, so that's our current time window where we're going to anticipate a possible low within this uptrend. Again, it may not happen, so don't assume that it's going to happen, but watch for that possibility. That's what the timing tells us. Then, if we look at the September contract, you'll see that we're already pulling back into a couple of, this first support cluster comes in at 234.13 to 234.37 area. It includes two symmetry projections and a 50% retracement. Then we have another zone that's a little bit wider, but 232.35 to 233.11. And that includes three symmetrical projections from some of these prior declines within this larger uptrend. And then it also includes a 618 retracement. So these are the first two areas that we're going to focus on for possible support. Now we're already in support right here, right now. So what are you supposed to do with that? Well, you're supposed to go down to a lower time frame chart and look for a buy trigger against it. If you get one, then you can take a trade against that zone and define your risk, or what I would do is, take a trade against it and then define my risk underneath this key support decision. And I'm wrong. It's going to be considered a bust if it comes back down and breaks below it, after a buy trigger. Okay. Now, if this first support, let's say it holds. Again, I have no idea whether it's going to hold or not, but if it does, what's the potential? Well, potential, if you look at the last swing, it was huge. But if we take just this high to low and run the extensions, you'll see that target number one is potentially 242.43. Okay. So anyway, let's look at potential triggers next. Now, if you're looking for a swing trade entry, typically I'll use like the 30-minute chart. Now, 30-minute chart with the 834 EMA crossover to the upside has definitely not occurred. So there's no buy trigger on the 30-minute chart. I don't believe there's one on a 15-minute chart yet either. There isn't one on a 10-minute chart yet. But typically you use the 15 or the 30-minute chart if you're looking for a swing trade entry. If you want to just use that same zone and look at it for a day trade decision instead, some people go as low as a 1-minute chart. But let's say you just look at, for example, a 5-minute chart, and you know that we're on support right here. If it continues to hold above here, and then, it's already taken out a prior swing high here, but then also has the moving average crossover to the upside, then I'd say, you can look at the buy side. You can wait and buy a little micro pullback if you want, or just buy it when it has the moving average crossover. Either place the place the stop underneath the low that was made prior to the buy trigger, or below the low end of the zone, which on the daily chart is underneath 234.13. Okay, you got to know when you're wrong, because you can't just say, well, maybe it'll hold the next level. Then you end up getting stuck in a really bad trade. So just remember, you want to always know what your definition of risk is, and also know what your potential targets are. And then, most important, do you have a trigger or something that tells you that it's worth placing a bet? Hope that helps. If you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll work on doing at least a couple of weeks.